What's up, guys? It's Drac, and we're reviewing this product from a new category. So what we have here is the evolution of the Splatrball, which is to say this is a gel BB, a gellet, a water BB blaster. Due in part to lots of regulations and crazy stuff going on all over the world, these are becoming more and more popular in markets where foam blasting tends to be pretty big. So over here, we've got just some of the ad copy on it. It says blast soft, non-staining water beads. So those are the water pellets. They're effectively like hydrophilic beads that inflate themselves to be just a little bit bigger than your typical airsoft BB, but certainly much smaller than a Nerf dart or something like that. Way, way, way smaller than paintballs. Then they're one-time use because they do explode upon impact. Splat a ball, the target. Tons of fun and easy cleanup. So definitely very easy to clean up. And then of course, if you're playing outside, the rounds after they explode just sort of dehydrate and there's virtually no mess left over whatsoever. Then it says firing up to 11 splattaballs per second. That's pretty good. Down here, we've got an age requirement of 14 up. On the back, we've got some of the disclaimers. Shows you what it comes with: target, stock, blaster, an awful lot of the water BBs, the gel pellets. And then you've got a charger for the, I think, Lipo battery. Hard to say. With this rate of fire, it's almost certainly using lithium chemistry, as well as goggles. So with 6,000 dehydrated beads, you have the ability to fill up the drum magazine that it now comes up with a 1,200 round capacity. You could fill this thing 5 times. I imagine that one of the primary advantages of the Splatrball technology and gel blasting in general is just how incredibly inexpensive the ammo is. It costs virtually very little per shot out of this thing. Now, some caveats are that these shots are one-time use, obviously, so unlike foam blasters. And then, of course, the only major downside being that these, you have to plan to play with them, right? It takes about 3 hours or so, in my experience, to fully hydrate your ammo, which means that you have to plan or have pre-hydrated ammo on the front end. So if this is something you do with your buddies every day after school, then like you should realistically just have kind of a jar of hydrated ammo. But if it's something that you're planning on doing for like special events or cul-de-sac battles or like 4th of July or something to that effect, then you're gonna have to plan that in advance and hydrate the ammo in the morning. So I've actually sneaked a peek inside here earlier so that I could start hydrating ammo in that spirit. But what you get when you open the package is thus. So it looks like this is our target. This is the water reactive target that the product comes with. You get a set of warnings. You do get those safety goggles. That's pretty tight. Looks like here's our stock. This is a funnel, I guess, to make it easier to, it's a pretty cost-effective funnel to make it easier to load our drum, which is over here. Then you get the blaster itself. Pretty similar build quality to the last Splatrball. If anything, maybe slightly improved. Pretty cool. And then over here, we've got the kind of Lipo Charger. Let's find out now if it is a Lipo. It should disclaim on here. It's a lithium ion, so a Lion, not a Lipo. There's your 6,000 rounds. Over here, you can see just how compact these are. They really absorb a lot of water over the course of their fill process. And then underneath, nothing else. Pretty cool. So this entire package, which is realistically everything a single player needs to play multiple times, sets you back $100 on Walmart right now. I think it's on sale for $100 at Walmart, just under. And then the retail on the website is, I think, $10 over that. So all in all, for an all-in-one package with 11 rounds per second, comes with the battery, comes with everything that you need, comes with more ammo than you could ever possibly load in one setting. I think it's a fine deal if you're buying into this ecosystem, if you're buying into this style of gameplay, and in particular, if you have friends who are buying in at the same time. So it looks like it's relatively easy. Our battery compartment is front forward. So if we pull this switch down and then open like that, we've got the hookup here for our Lion battery. We'll go ahead and plug that in like so. Pretty quick setup. Whoa! I was not expecting that. So we click that door back into place, and this is just a really cool feature. I was not expecting this, but on both sides, Hasbro could learn a thing or two. In addition to the logos, this guy has this light up bar on the sides, which I think would be really compelling for nighttime play and kind of gives it this super futuristic sort of look to it. It almost looks like it has a perpetual glow stick inside. And it's a pretty good amount of light. If I kill the light here real quick, I don't know, I'll put the lights back on in a second here, but I really wanted you guys to get a feel for that. That is a cool feature. I love integrated LED work. It's something that's usually only featured on like high-end custom blasters. And so to see it on a production product like this is very, very refreshing. I guess the battery's in now, so I could theoretically pop off a couple of dry fires. Let's get the lights back on so we can show you assembly. All right, so two different stock configurations. You've got the sling point attachment. The original Splatrball, if memory serves, did the same sort of thing where they had this, as well as a pretty comfortable sort of framed out stock. Reminds me a lot of the Lightning Storm stocks and is actually remarkably sturdy. Like, you would not believe how little flex this has. So not using an in-strike attachment is actually pretty advantageous in this case because there's just a lot of material on material contact, leading to a very stable experience. Now, no pick rail, nothing like that, but you do get iron sights on it, and realistically, at 11 balls per second, your accuracy is gonna come through volume most of the time. Not to say that it's not, you know, incredibly accurate, it's just airsoft accurate, which means that, like, you know, your range is slightly limited and your accuracy is gonna persist through volume, and it has full auto and 1,200 rounds of capacity to more than make up for that. So it looks like you load this guy through a pretty convenient little window there. So you would open it like so, throw your funnel right there, load it up like that, click to close, and then you can see there's battery terminals on here. So you don't want to get it super duper wet, because when it's connected, what it's going to do is, and then you've got your safety selector. So there's fire and off. Here nothing happens. Here something happens, and when it happens, it's operating an agitator that's built into the drum, which is why it needs the conduit to connect. The magazine release down here, pretty convenient, kind of like an AK style without the rock, right? It's a big paddle, and then it sort of spring assists the eject. The glasses are actually significantly nicer than any goggles than any foam blaster companies have sent ever, which is just a surprising breath of fresh air. They're not only a multi-articulating adjustable on the side, they've got that feature there where you can move them up or down to accommodate your face shape, but they also have foam padding here, as well as rubber padding on the bridge. They're definitely not going to be cross-compatible with your existing ocular enhancement, but their overall comfort and the side panel protection is quite good. I would love to see more companies creating safety equipment like this. Particularly some of the like pro level and above blasters should probably be coming with something to this effect. This is pretty sharp. It also like looks good for what it's worth. I mean, you're using multiple colors of plastic. It's got like a gear up kind of scheme on it. I think it's much, much sharper than sending the, you know, nickel safety disposable glasses that you would have if you like walked into a warehouse factory floor or something to that effect. So with all of that said, that's the unboxing. It's relatively simple. The shell is definitely a big, big upgrade from last year, and I am excited to take it outside and get some performance metrics out of it. Okay guys, so we're out here with the SRB. Grip is pretty large. That might be my one ergo complaint. Stock's great, foregrip area is great. Grip is almost like bulbous at the top. I have size large hands, at least that's my glove size. And that's about where I'm at. Trigger well is massive, has lots of great room in here to actuate. And again, there's no semi, so realistically, once you're in go mode, you're good to go. You've got no go and go. So let's go ahead and throw this in like so. You can see I've already fully loaded it through the aperture there. It does in fact fit every bit of 1,100 rounds, if not the full 1,200, but I didn't see a need to overload it. You can actually see it's not the complete utilization of this space, because this would be easily, you know, 2,000 rounds. It's got a separate compartment separating the moist ammo from the electronics down here, where it obviously hopper feeds these things up through this chamber here into that chamber there. If you've ever used like an AEG in airsoft, very similar metric of operation. You've got an anodized metal barrel in here, which is pretty quality in terms of your overall performance and seal, and that's shrouded by a very good neon orange shroud for safety. You've also got orange here, 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 and then the drum itself. So as long as you're not doing any crazy modifications or paint jobs, I think that this one's pretty safe, certainly for neighborhood play and most outdoor arenas by virtue of that. So let's get a quick, and again in full auto, it's going to take us a second to cycle these BBs through. And that, you know, those first 3 seconds get the hopper charged. And so we've got connective kind of loading to firing mechanism. Let's go ahead and try and stagger some semi-auto shots over just to see what we're up against. So those are happening very fast, but I can tell you even in full auto, and it's reading as quickly as it can. These are basically like high FPS, like entry. They're like competitive grade Nerf blasters, right? We're right in the over 200, but under the 230, 240. So we're right at, you know, everywhere from 210 to 225 on average. And we've barely glazed the surface of our overall ammo capacity. So I went ahead and I set their target out here. For the sake of me being able to see it, I wanted to wear their goggles and just showcase that they are very comfortable. They're also, you know, very effective, which is what they're supposed to do. They actually glanced off a lot of that, and given the water-based ammo, I can still see through them. No scratches, no dings, pretty good. I am going to switch to mine, however, just because mine are also impact resistant, and I want to give you the best on-target performance that I possibly can, right? So this is set down at about 25 feet, just at the fence line, and I'm standing here, so it's between 25 and 30. And once you're on, you are on. So let's go ahead and move that back just a bit. That's pretty good. All right, so we're taking it down to a more reasonable engagement distance, and it's mobile. It's really And again, you get accuracy through volume, right? Just taking a quick look at our ammo capacity, and we've barely breached it. So I'm gonna set us down pretty much all the way out there. That tree gets us to just about 85, 90 feet, depending upon where we're standing. And it actually is at an elevation because of where I hooked my zip target out to. So this is a pretty fair engagement distance. It's certainly the kind of thing that normally you'd want like a 300 FPS AEG and airsoft for, and we'll see if just through volume we can hit it at all. I guess like we've definitely made contact with it 1 or 2 times out there, certainly more than a couple. Overall accuracy on, like, you know, opponent-sized targets, it's pretty unbelievable. Just the sheer rate of fire that it's capable of keeping up with is massive. If you want to watch some of these explode in slow motion, I'll go ahead and I'll hit my post here a few times. And you would definitely feel these, but at the end of the day, they're pretty safe. A lot of that force dissipates in the exploding of them. It's crazy how much onboard ammo capacity we have. I feel like we have barely gotten through maybe half of it, and I'm like out of things to shoot. We can bring the target back and see what that looks like at closer range. I do like the target that this guy comes with. I think that it does a really, here, we can bring it in while we fire at it. It's just a complete gel BB hose. And the drum magazine is almost an unnecessary level of excessive force. At this point, I'm just trying to empty it because I want you guys All right, so with the hopper, will it fire sideways? So if you go sideways, ironically, sideways no, upside downsies yes. We just have minutes worth of sustained firing in here, and we're still not done. It's just, let me knock that one off. I'm trying to see if I can get it to run empty. I want want to show you guys what reloading it looks like. The included funnel is pretty necessary because of the massive onboard capacity. And then once you're there, you just go. It's actually pretty good ASMR. You gotta be careful. Looks like I'm making sushi with all these water BBs. And you add a few more. Having 2 people would make the angling a little bit easier. And you don't have to worry about like losing ammo. That's the craziest part. The ammo is so cheap, so readily available, so easy to make more of that you don't have to feel bad as it sort of spills and splashes. It reminds me of like playing speedball. I mean, just I'll let you guys be the judge, but 11 balls per second I think is a very reasonable claim. It's certainly a very high rate of fire in terms of its overall action and performance. I just want to look at the brutality that we've done our poor Splatrball target here. And theoretically, if I wanted to, I could wipe this guy down and it would react as new all over again. But you can draw lines across it like so, and it reacts to the water as the gel BBs explode all over it. But target's good. Marker, it feels like a marker. I guess the Splatrball blaster is of top shelf build quality. This is thick ABS all over. The stock is sturdy. The iron sights are about as good as you need them to be for something that's accuracy comes through just sheer rate of fire and coverage on target. The overall compact nature of it means that it would be great for the kind of backyard fun that we described. As far as cleaning and maintenance goes, I think that it's pretty easy. You just run a few dry fires through it and it'll be good to go for next time. But overall impression of this is very high. I think that at $100, it is an all-in-one kit for a full, day or 2 of blaster style battling with your buddies. The one caveat I would have is that, for $100, you're ready to go. If you're going to be playing, less target shooting in the backyard and more like war games with your friends, I would definitely pick up 2. I think that everybody would want 1. Eye protection is an absolute necessity because this is far more in the safety radius of something like airsoft paintball than it would be a foam blaster. And realistically, anything shooting over 200 FPS, you're going to want blinkers on for anyway. But overall performance is solid. Overall build quality is solid. The LEDs mean that it would be a ton of fun to play at like dusk with a couple of these, and you could watch your buddy kind of like glow in the distance. Overall, I don't know what else to say about it. I think it's a solid pickup. You could still pick one up at walmart.com and it would theoretically deliver in time for the holidays. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I think that we're going to be seeing more gel blasters moving forward just because of how the space is evolving. And hopefully we get some like fields and some games for them that I can go to in 2022. I would like to go out and actually play/compete with some of these a little bit before I pass final judgment on some of the more expensive offerings in the space. But this one, entry level, tough to beat. Thanks so much for watching. Much love. Blast on. Drac out.